All right, welcome back to another Monday Morning IGL. Hope we're all having a great start to our week after a really fun and interesting week of Call of Duty this past weekend with the Major 2. Obviously, we see FAZE. If you haven't heard, go ahead, win back-to-back major championships, repeat if you count last year's EWC. So this team is obviously just rolling. Um, Surge came close a few times, but other than that, no one's really put up a fight against them. LAT is the only one that can, but they just have to get to the point where they can face them. But we'll get to all that. I want to kind of just run down the matches we kind of had, highlight anything that I noticed or saw. We started the series with Surge versus Ravens, which I think a lot of people had it as a lot closer of a match. And actually, a lot of people had Ravens taking it because kind of towards the end of that last split, Ravens started to find their form again, but they drop a 3-0 to Surge. Neptune is a 1.18, and on lane he looks legit. We saw him kind of slowing down online, and maybe people figured him out, but he came out to lane, and I mean he's as real as it gets. He's a legit star, and it's only his first split, and he just joined this team. So Ravens look flat. Gwyn looks like he's only good online consistently so far. He's been great online, and not good on land. So he's kind of what they need to figure out, because if he's not shooting, that team isn't really worth much because they got good players, but Gwyn's supposed to be their superstar, so if he can't do it on land, then they're kind of screwed. Then my Cloud9 come out in 3-0 Ultra. It wasn't a blowout. We won the hard point by 2. The search was close. I forget what round they went to. So I mean I think it might have been a 3-2 control. It was a close. Could have been 3-0 Ultra just as easily, but actually I was super happy with how we came out because everyone had Ultra. A lot of people gave it a 50-50, but if they had to give an edge, they gave it to Ultra. So I'm super happy we came out and played good. Sib looked great. Mac looked great. Kremp with a huge map 3 for us. Kremp was looking amazing online this weekend. So a lot to look forward to our team. We came in top 6. Kind of got screwed. We won one game and then had to play FaZe and Thieves right in a row when they both were at their hottest, so we kind of got screwed out of the tournament from that, but still top 6 finish nonetheless. So next we had Thieves Breach, which nobody saw this coming. Breach comes out and it just honestly kind of dominates them. I mean, they win that first hard point. Take a look here at the game if this loads for me. They come out, win that first hard point by 20. Then they go up 2-0 with that search and destroy. Thieves come out, and then Control is their game mode, right? They 3-0 them. People think, all right, their first 2 maps dropped them, but Control is a great swing mode for them. Puts them right back to a hard point, which is they're an amazing hard point team, obviously with the firepower they have. And then they lose by 8, a close game, which you think either they're gonna get blown out because they're just a completely bad game and Boston's shooting their freaking heads off. But I mean, a close game and just Breach clutch up, make it a 3-1 victory. I mean, Snoopy looked amazing. Cammy looked great. This team was shooting, and it was nobody saw this coming. I had Thieves running through the tournament with no issue because the way they looked recently, just a absolute just shocker when they came out and Breach won that one 3-1. But move on. We have FaZe 3-0 Rocker. There's honestly not much there. Rockers get absolutely handled. FaZe at LAN and look like they're in form, like we pretty much expected. Friday, we have Thieves come out, play Heretics, and map 1, they actually dropped map 1 to Heretics by time. It was 232 to 218 on Vault, ended by time. And then they go ahead and win 3 straight, but it really wasn't convincing. I mean, it was a 6-4 hard search, 3-2 control, 250 to 207 hard point at the end. Miami honestly looked great. Rancor was playing great. Real looked amazing. So it honestly kind of sucks that Miami was just crap online and had to come out here and play Thieves round 1. They should have been them playing Breach. They could have actually made a run, but instead you get Thieves who are looking for revenge and definitely not looking to make a top 12 exit. So you kind of get screwed. But Miami definitely looked good. They definitely are a good LAN team. Like I said, they just kind of get screwed out of how that bracket work with Thieves dropping down to them. So Vegas versus Carolina. Obviously 3-0. Carolina, their guns all get hot, but it's also Vegas, so it's hard to kind of take that into account. Optic Texas versus Minnesota Rocker. This is a huge one because Skies obviously joins the roster right before the major. It was kind of crazy breaking news. I had no clue this was coming. I saw all the comments and people were talking about a roster change, and everyone was calling each other stupid. Like, if you actually think Optic's going to make a roster change right before the tournament. You're out of your mind. And about 30 minutes later, they make a roster change. Skies joins that team. They come out. They 3-0 Rocker. It was close. The hard point. And they ended up winning 6 straight on Search and Destroy for Optic to take that search. And then they 3-0 on Control. They look great. Skies drops a .74. Everyone else goes off. So, I mean, Skies isn't known for his slang. But he kind of gets, especially that first map, he gets shit on pretty bad. But, I mean, he was soaking Hill. He was doing what this team needs him to do to open up these other players and let them go and get active. So he does that. They 3-0. Optic fans are right back in it in terms of belief in their team. Toronto Ultra 3-0. Gorilla Mates. LAG are just kind of they're just not gonna move with this roster. Kismet looks decent. You can't really take a good fair guess at Lunars. He's on a very bad team that doesn't seem like there's a fix. Whether they jumble the roster around, pick up someone, there's no fix for this team. I think that maybe they might win a few matches here and there, but this team is not making champs, not even close. I don't know what they're gonna do, if anything, because it's kind of getting late in the season. I don't know who they'd even go get. So Ultra 3-0 there, looking dominant, and then Thieves come out. And we thought this would be a good match. Thieves versus Ravens. Ravens looked like crap against Surge first round, but so did Thieves against Breach. And Thieves come out and they look back into their form. They 3-0 them. Everyone with a 1.4 or higher besides Ghosty with 1.1. Once again, Gwyn not looking great on land. Great, I mean, obviously the rest of the team didn't look great. TJ seems like their best player on land right now. And overall, honestly, I mean, Gwyn looks great online, but that's not really going to do anything when you go to land and you guys just get bounced every time. So Carolina Deva is a good team and is consistent, and then they just come to land. Like I said, unfortunate that they versus Thieves in the losers bracket. You're not really expecting that, but still, I mean, this team is not performing how they'd want to on land, not even close. Looking ahead to the next match, it's Saturday now. Optic comes out. Everybody's excited. Optic versus Ultra. Now Optic got a win under their belt. They made it to Saturday. And they get ran. It's not even close. I'm just kind of wondering, is Optic right back to where they are? Because 100 point, they got beat by 100. 6-2 in the search, 3-1 in Control. No one looked good. Shotzi did not look good at all. I mean, Pred actually, I said no one looked good. Pred looked great. Pred was shooting that whole series. Pred was shooting, especially the map. Map 1 drops a 1.28, and nobody else is over 1 KD. JoeDecieves looks disgusting. He's looked gross all series, all split on land. He's looked just disgusting. I think he's a top 5 player in the league right now, the way he's playing, and so consistently. Killian drops a 1.5. They were just running Optics World, so it's a weird spot Optics in because they made the change. Like I said, you have still 3 players who were top players in the league last year, right? You're looking at top 10 players last year. These 3 were all in it. Shotzi was fighting for a top SMG in the game. Same thing with Pred. Dash, was up there as one of the best players, most clutch player in the league. And they make a change. Skies comes in. They looked a little bit better yesterday, and then today against a good Toronto team, I mean, they get rolled. So I'm not really sure where they go. Obviously, they only had a couple days of practice, so you hope with more practice they get better because the league's in a weird spot and Optic's not good because now you just have FaZe and Thieves who have the talent to win a major. You have Toronto, you have Surge, who have the teamwork and the young stars and the kind of under the radar players to maybe make a push, but it's going to have to be by upset. So it's really just a 2-team league at this point, and really a 1-team league with FaZe, especially this weekend. But when Optic's looking like this, I'm not really sure how the rest of this year looks. We only got 2 majors left, only 10 matches left online and 2 majors, so we'll have to see how they decide to figure that out. Breach versus Surge. Surge come out, handle business. Breach did look good, but Surge they've been rolling. They've been playing well for a lot longer now. They come out, they win that one 3-1. Like I said, Breach definitely makes some waves. They impress some people. Let them know like they kind of have what we thought they were at the beginning of the year when they started off pretty hot and then they fell off towards the end of that major and this online split. But Vancouver come out. Vancouver's a top 3 team right now easily and competes with FaZe consistently, so they win that one 3-1. Then my Cloud9 go up against FaZe. We lose 3-1. It looks a lot worse than it is, honestly. But we lose by 13, map 1. We lose 6-4, map 2. We win the control, 3-0. So now I'm thinking we're right back in it. And then we lose 250 to 170 on that hard point. Red card at the end for map 4. But, I mean, these first 3 maps, we smoke them on control. And we're right there in it. 6-4 on search and lost by 13 hard point. We're right there. I feel like we've competed with FAZE a few different times now. We've played them online, at least. We've released, whether it was a 3-0 or 3-2, the maps are typically close. Like, it doesn't look like a top team playing a bottom team. So Kremp has a great series, 89, 77, 1.16. He looks amazing. So that's a really bright spot. We had, Siv's been playing good lately. So if Kremp is this, at least on land, Kremp looked like a stud. This series, this tournament, he looked really good. So hopefully we can keep that going. Top 6 for us, like I said, we get kind of screwed because we beat Toronto Ultra, who everyone thought was really good, especially when they came out and they rolled Thieves, which we'll get to. And then, so we beat Ultra, and then we have to go play FaZe, who it's FaZe, and they beat us. Then we have to go play Thieves, who still are hungry, trying to make that championship Sunday, and they just absolutely roll us. Like I said, we'll get there, but unfortunate kind of turn for us. It would have been better, honestly, if we lost to Ultra the first round. We would have made it further. So then, and Toronto comes out. They 3-0 Breach to send Breach home. Once again, Toronto is looking great. JoeDecieves playing great. This Boston Breach team is clearly outmatched, but like I said, they're still a team to be respected. And then, like I said, we get rolled by Thieves for the last match on Saturday. Thieves were hot this day. They looked like their form again. This is kind of why I thought they were gonna make a run. They found that form again, and they were just running the map, and they looked like themselves. And we got rolled. There was really no way to understate that. We got rolled. Looking ahead to Sunday, Championship Sunday, we have Toronto, Thieves, and Vancouver Surge and FaZe for our top 4 teams. We start off with a 3-0 from Toronto Ultra, which was just insane. Like, I had it locked that Thieves were going to go make this run now that they got those jitters out of the way. And it really wasn't that close. They lost by 150 the first map. They lost 6-4 in search, and then they lost 3-0 in control. Just like nobody green, nobody positive for them. JoeDecieves, like I said, 1.47. This kid is playing out of his mind. Against this Thieves team, they just roll him. And right here, people kind of started to have Toronto as maybe a favorite to go contest either Surge or FaZe, most likely FaZe in that championship. And they look great. Their teamwork looks great. They're ratty on the map. Looks like they're not gonna have the talent that FaZe and Thieves has, but it looks like they're knowing how to play that Insight and CleanX system that they've been consistently winning for years with multiple different players. Seems like if you could fit in, especially when you got someone like Joe Beans has been playing great. They do seem like just a fundamentally well-rounded team. Next series, FaZe versus Vancouver, goes all the way the distance. Game 5, round 11. Vancouver actually wins both hard points by a good margin. 90 points both times. The search was close. The control FaZe wins 3-1, and like I said, Search and Destroy, the map 5 goes round 11. All Vancouver is positive. Only Celium's positive for FaZe. I mean, that makes sense. Vancouver won both hard points, but this Vancouver team, I mean, looks legit. You take FaZe game 5. They beat them twice online. They go game 5, round 11. It's a toss-up at that point. Like I said, Neptune is the real deal. Abuza has been playing great. This whole team's been playing great. I think they're going to be a legit team for the rest of the year, but they lose here. They drop down to losers finals, which we have Vancouver and Ultra, and Vancouver kind of take care of business. I know some people maybe had Ultra taking this one just because that hot win off of Thieves, and they did look amazing, but I mean Vancouver just went toe to toe with FaZe. Game 5, round 11. They came out. They kind of handled business against Ultra. We'll take a look here. The first hardpoint is close. Comes down to that P4. Surge breaks in, wins the map. Toronto takes the search. makes sense. Toronto's a really good Surge team, and then 3-1 to control for Surge, and then a 100-point win on Hacienda Hardpoint to take it for Vancouver. Neptune 1.9, Nasty 1.38. I mean, they look great. Other side, only Beans positive. I'm repeating myself, but Vancouver is, this is legit. It's a really great story. Neptune joins them, and all of a sudden they become just a top tier team. And now, speaking of top tier teams, we get FAZE versus Vancouver Surge, and it ends in a 4-0 grand finals. FAZE. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Vancouver had their chance to at least push FAZE on the loser bracket, make them go play Toronto Ultra. Maybe something happens down there, but they can't get it done, and they come back and rematch them here in this finals, and it's just complete domination. I mean, Celium 1.72. It was a 50-point hard point, 6-1 in Surge, 3-2 in Control, and then 120-point hard point. I mean, there was just, after that hard point win last series, Surge took both of the hard points, which is kind of weird against FaZe, and FaZe took both Surges, so it was kind of like that's what kept him in, was winning those hard points, and they lose that first hard point, and that's kind of when I got scared for him. And then when FaZe comes out, and they were just running the world on this Skyline hard point, just running them down, outplaying them completely, just clearly showing they're the more disciplined, more experienced, and just more talented team. And they just steamroll them. There's not much here to cover in this series. FaZe do the 3-peat EWC, Major 1, Major 2. I mean, this is like, it's getting ridiculous. Since I've been watching Call of Duty, it's just been FaZe. It's like, the stats are just stupid. It's just stupid. Like, especially with Draza, their LAN performances are just disgusting. They're either in the championship or they're third. Like, they've rarely not made the championship. Might have been like 2 events. It's just, I don't know. They find a way every time, and a lot of times when they win, they go from winners bracket. They don't lose a match. They don't lose a single match. They just win straight through. Send you to losers bracket, rematch you, beat you again. Like, it's just, I don't know. That team, they're just disciplined. Like, there's a difference that I want to get into in a little bit here. So some players we think are superstars, all-stars, role players, because there's a lot of young talent and new faces in the league that are kind of making a name for themselves this year. That's why a bit of a more competitively. There's a lot more players out there available to other teams that aren't just on FaZe and Optic and Thieves this year. But they just play disciplined. Obviously, their guns are disgusting, so when they need to bail out, they can bail themselves out. But they don't give you anything in Search. I mean, you see what I can't get my head around is like, why don't these teams learn from what FaZe does? I'm not a pro player. I'm gonna put this out there. I should have said at the top of the podcast. I'm a hard stuck diamond. All right, so my opinion may mean nothing, but I've just been watching COD a lot and kind of just seeing what they do. And it's so obvious to me when you're watching FaZe play, they don't give you the 3v1s, even 2v1s in Search. They don't give it to you. They don't give you a freebie. They're not trying to make a hero play. They play together. They play smart. They make you have to make the perfect play and then also 2-piece them for the round. Make the perfect play and then hit the craziest headshots. Like, they make you make a crazy play. They don't just give it to you ever. And I feel like you don't see other teams do that. We've seen some of the other teams troll rounds by just throwing their lives and just misplays here and there. And FaZe just don't do that. They just know how to. They know how to work the map, play as a team. They know when someone's got their back and cover, and they can just play their life, let their boy come. They're just great at playing their lives. I can't count how many times your teams in the hard point. I'm just from watching my Cloud9 New York teams play. Like, we're in the hard point, and they come and contest, and we get in a quick gunfight, and then they just lay down and play their life. And now we're tweaking, and it just, even if we get 3 down, and now we get on the time, someone will come in, jump on the point and contest it, and then just play their life long enough, just shoulder. They're not trying to get the kill. They're not trying to be the hero that 1v4s the entire team. They're just trying to delay it. Eventually, maybe they'll die. Maybe they'll get the 2-piece. That's where their talent comes in. But by then, their team is back. And now, where you thought you just got a 3-wipe, you thought, all right, this is a good 10-15 seconds guaranteed before the fights even start. And you got 3, 4, because they were contesting. Maybe you got none because you just got 2-piece. Now this kid's taking the time again. It's just consistent. Like, it just, you have to play so perfectly. You have to play as a team. You have to play your life. And then you got to be able to shoot. at the same all in one, and they just do it consistently. I mean, it helps that those 3 players have been playing together for a while now. Draza's champion coming into this team, and he's sometimes plays like the best player on that team. So he's just a perfect fit. But they're just, it's when you get 4 of the probably the best players in the game, and then they're disciplined. I mean, like just, it's so hard. It's so hard to beat them. Thieves are the only team at Kings. They have the firepower and they have the talent to do it. And like I said, Thieves are gonna, when they fall off and they don't make it here, then it's just no chance. When it's FaZe and someone that's not a team like Thieves, it's an automatic win. Like it really is. They're not gonna lose to anyone that's not Thieves, honestly. And like people calling Thieves the super team coming into this year, and you know they have the talent for it, but it's like the past years you look at the top players in the league, you don't say the top 5, top 7 players in the league without mentioning these 4 on this team. Like how do you say that? Obviously, Hydra and Scrap last year were 2 and 3 in MVP voting. Hydra was the MVP the year before. He could have argued for him having it last year too, and Scrap was right there. And they're both great this year too. But this whole entire team can be considered top 10 players, top 7 players, and then they all can go off individually at different times. They all have specialties. BZ might go negative in a series, but he'll have 4 first bloods in a search and win you that search, even if he goes 4 and 6, right? Like he doesn't have to have the best KD. Their impact is all so just, I don't know. These young guys in the league gotta start forming teams and getting together. I mean, this Surge team, I think honestly, couldn't. I mean, I'm not gonna say get there as in they can play on that level, but Abuza year 2, 04 year 2. Neptune's been in the league a few times, but he's still young. Not sure how young. Nasty's 25, right? But like, Surge has a couple young players on this team that they can work with, and these kids are studs. 04 is a great clutch Surge player. Abuza has his maps as an AL where he just goes off. Neptune he looks like a top player in the league. He just his gun skills disgusting if he just keeps learning the game and just getting better. And if they can stick together as a team, at least as a trio, those 3, I think they have a legit chance to be a great roster in this coming years, especially even this year. But that's what you get when you have a FaZe team. You got 3 players been together for years, and they're all amazing. They practice hard. They play hard. You got to play perfect to beat them, and some of these teams just aren't at that level yet to do that. So that's Major 2. It was great. It was a fun weekend to watch. A lot of great moments. Still, I think we had that Surge and FaZe series. There's like 24 straight series this year without a Game 5 until that one. We had a Game 5 there, and then we didn't. We had a 3-1 and a 4-0. I mean, well, this season is close in terms of like there's a lot more room than last year, where it was just the top 4 and the rest where it had zero chance to do anything else. It's just all 3-1s, 3-0s, 3-1s, 3-0s, no matter what. Even when you finally get a matchup, like, okay, this is definitely going 5. It's just a blowout. Somehow it's a blowout. So we finally got that, but still, it's just a crazy stat. 24 straight series without a Game 5, and then we finally get one. And then we get that same matchup gets a 4-0 the next time around. So really weird, but overall, fun weekend of COD to watch. I do have some moments here that we'll watch. I'll kind of let them play. I'll comment on it maybe, but I just want to. There's audio on this if you're listening audio wise. This will be in the video as well if you want to watch, but we'll have the audio for it. I'll kind of let it play out. First one we have is Toronto versus C9. This is our first winners round 1. This is the P3 and the P4. We were down like however many points. We were down 30. They had 232 to 200 from P3 to P4. And we'll see. But obviously Cloud9 comes out on top with some crazy 2 pieces by Civ, 4 pieces by Attach. I just want to we'll just listen to this one and watch through and just. I thought this was a great moment, especially for our first match. It had me insanely hyped, so go ahead and watch this, and we'll talk about it after.
232. Trophy systems are down, but the spawns are a little mixy. Kleenex, he pops up, finds Attach, forces Sim to have to respond. Can't find it. Max shut down. Looking good for Toronto. Crab, you've got to find at least 1 elimination to try to open the front doors here. Can you get in? Can you find an elimination to find the contest? Patio's clean. Now they hit from the front. Hardpoint goes neutral. 243, 208.
And Cloud9 are in. They're at least finding the trades for now. Big 30 seconds, they can walk away with it. You've been able to flip the spawns as well. All of Ultra are now going to develop on some of the long routes. Inside taking his sweet time around the back, while Kreb is finding a double through the middle. That's 3 dead, and now You can still lose here if you're Cloud9. You cannot afford to give it up.
But you've got so much space. So you're going to commit for Kremp to play on the rotation. Everyone else out hitting from the front. Toronto's able to work their way in. Attack. Can you be the hero? He only finds one. Kremp in the contest. Can he stay alive long enough to allow this rotation to come through? Looks like yes, as Civ is there. Now you look to rotation. Mac and Attach are going to be here first.
C9 have a couple players early into the hard point. Now if you're JoeDecieves trying to time this flank, he wins the one-on-one. You find the second kill. Ultra in.
Time for the Mac attack. 1v2 over the top. He finds the first.
One
from Civ is good. Oh my goodness. Cloud9 are in. They've got numbers. Toronto just needs 2 points. Can they find a break? It's a 3v3 over the top of the time. Trades back and forth. Attach. Lock it down. Oh my goodness.
Just an absolute, I'm getting giddy watching it. As like my team, watching my team, my favorite team, make that happen. That was just an amazing sight. Pull up the standings here just so you can have something to look at. But that was just an amazing moment. We did need 18 seconds we had a full P3 to go, and then a full P3 into a P4 Rock Hill, which, you know, Ultra could have easily won it on either one. It was just a absolute mayhem at the end there. We I think P2 before that we were down. It was like 232 to like 190 something. So we were down even more. We somehow get time. We rotate really well to P3. We get in there. I think if you saw at like 14 seconds left on the hill, Kremp started rotating. Actually, we had the time. Kremp started rotating, basically just banking on us to hold that hill down. He ends up turning around once Ultra break in. He turns around and gets on the hill, contests it, gets a kill, eventually dies, but holds long enough for us to get the rest of the kills, and then the time runs out. And it was Mac and Attach, I believe, maybe, that got to the hill first. So it was 2 of them in, but then instantly Ultra come off. They had a pinch from JoeDecieves. A couple come from mid-doors, mid-hall. Ultra instantly get 2 on us. Mac comes around, he gets 2. And then Sib slides in, gets 1 mid-doors, turns around, snaps on another guy at Rock. Basically for the game, right? I think Ultra needed 2 or 3 seconds. And Sib pulls out a fucking sick, just insane, just really highlights how he's been playing lately. 2-piece. We hold the hill. We all stack it. They're forced to push from those boat steps. And Attach finished it with a 4-piece. It was just an insanely hype moment, especially on land. That crowd was going crazy on a Thursday. I can only imagine something like that on a Sunday. But it was just a super fun moment to watch. That P3, P4 Hacienda can get super intense, because if you get in that Rock Hill, it could be game. But so teams got to come in and just tax it where, you know, stuns, nades, everything. That was just a great moment. But maybe a little biased because I'm a Cloud9 fan, but that was one of my favorite moments to watch on LAN, at least so far this year too. So next I have another great moment. We have Thieves versus Carolina Royal Ravens. This wasn't close. It was a 6-1 search win. But I thought this moment was great at the end. We have the 3v3, and Scrap comes in with the RCXD to win the round. I'll watch this through, and we'll get after it again after.
Have no ground to work with whatsoever. They've been able to find 1. Trades are coming through. Gwyn gonna force himself into a 1v2 situation. Trying for a little turner here, a little bit of an awkward pass, but time is becoming an issue. 18 seconds on the clock. Gotta find a way to put some pressure onto the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
And you still have Scrap sitting back. It just doesn't feel good. They've been able to clean up 1. Scrap is just waiting. No way, dude. RCXD is gonna clean it up. Oh.
Yeah, so if you didn't understand what was happening right there, we had I think Scrap died first. It was a 4v4. Scrap was, I think, might have planted the bomb that went and hid behind that shack next to the A bomb, and then he pulls out the RCXD, but he got it out before, and he died right after. But if you get the RCXD out before you die, you still get to drive it around. So he spent that entire round after that. It was a 4v4. He dies, makes it a 3v4 in favor of Ravens. Spends that entire round in the RCXD, and then it comes down to a 2v1. Ravens get the kill on whoever that was last alive, and it was just 2 Ravens alive. They did defuse the bomb, but here comes Scrap. He must have kept the car alive. I don't know where he drove it to keep it alive, and they show on the camera right there with like 10 seconds left. He just drives it on up to his feet and parks and just waits. At that point, he was screwed because he waits 7 seconds, hits the clock, he blows it up. Now Vivid can't jump on the bomb and defuse it. I thought it was just a super funny moment because all of a sudden it just goes quiet and you just see the car right up to his feet, and it's just like there's nothing you could do. That's honestly what I think is a perfect use of that that thing. I feel like people use it all the time. We see team kill, especially on like vault and type places and stuff. But if you can get the bomb planted, get on your R60, even if you die, just keep that thing alive as one, a camera to make sure they're not defusing it. Two, just drive it on when you need to and blow it up. So I thought that was a super funny moment. Obviously that map wasn't close, but next I want to take a look at, we have Vancouver Surge versus Boston. It's 230 to 221. This is map 1 of this series. Surge currently have P4 on vault, which is a pretty good hill to just lock down. They need 20 points to win it here. And this gets pretty intense, so I'll go ahead and we'll run through this one, bro. I thought this was a fun moment, especially when things go from P4 to P1 to bang out. Both teams need a few points. This is what makes COD fun to watch. Just hill times like this, hard points like this. It's just great. Let's take a look.
They're getting the cutoff kills as well. They get a player on time, 17 seconds to go.
One last barge now of breach through the front. Net finds another. Kill number 44. Cammy with 2. Can he break it? No, Abuza's there for it. You've still got a man on time, and it's 04 soaking away. Final 5. Here we go, Boston. Can you make something magical happen on the contest? The answer is yes, for now.
They bought their lifeline. This might be the Boston special. We're going to be ending this game on a P1, and Cammy's here first.
Here we go. Cammy in. Cammy down. Oh, Abuza finds something, but again, it's a 1v1 on time now that Purge loses. So Nasty locking it down once again. The final few seconds. Snoopy, can you save this moment? The answer is yes. Reinforcements now arrive. Abuza has been overwhelmed. Trades are done. 04 on time. A 1v1. Purge stays alive. Here comes Nasty. A stick.
One more wave of kills. This is it. The last square up on the time. Boston are here. Vancouver swarming.
Still finding kills all over the place. Snoopy on the pinch. Gets it. Stays alive. 10 seconds for the win.
This is it. This is it.
5 to go. Cammy. Purge. Everywhere you look. Kills going their way. They've done it. Oh my God. I've never seen
Just a really great sequence right there from Boston. Like I said, this is right after they beat Thieves on Thursday. This is Saturday now. So this is their first match back in winners against this Surge team that we're all super high on. And they come out and win this map 1. Surge needed 20 points on P4 on vault. There was 40 seconds left on the hill. They needed 20 points. And at some point they get a 3 down. Boston goes 3 down, and somehow Wade comes in. He gets 2. They pick up another one, trade someone out, and then they get in the hill. Just long enough to spawn Surge in the back. Then they trap him in the back for a bit there, and then they can rotate the P1 first because they put him in the back. And then there's literally nothing better. This is kind of what got me into COD, was watching maps, and it came down to moments like this where the feed is just zebra striped. It's trade, where it's like, oh my, it's one team needs 3 points, the other team needs 7 points, and it's just absolute mayhem, especially on that P1 on vault, where like, you go ahead and take the route cat and risk that you might not get there in time, or people start tweaking, especially on land. The pressure's there. You start slamming the hill. Grenades are going out. We saw Nasty he finally got the kill. Wanted to go on the point, gets stuck. He blows up. He dies. Like, it's just mayhem. It's just who comes out on top of the trades, and Boston managed to do it. They actually held it down for like 15 or 20 seconds there to win it, which is pretty impressive. Which is that constant onslaught, and they hold it down. That was a really good showing for Boston Breeze. That was a super fun map 1 to watch. Surge obviously go on to win that one 3-1, but still just a pretty fun P1 to watch there on vault. And lastly, this one's a little shorter. It was just a really nice 3-piece by JoeDecieves. This is a 1-0 series so far. Toronto Ultra's up 5-5 on this search. This is a really good map. If the Gorillas can come out and win, make it 1-1, and make it at least respectable, and it's a completely different vibe change when you're up. When it's 1-1, you go into the control. Anything can happen there, but instead we'll see JoeDecieves do what he does.
Same as before. Lynn's this time with the first blood. RCXD whirring away in the background. Not going to matter too much. Joe empties his pockets into a trophy.
And this is huge. First blood to get right back in this series. And JoeDecieves in a day 1 corner.
Day 1, 3-piece! Oh my word! Oh my goodness, down to Lunas now! We test the rookie's resolve in a round 11. And stunned up. Ultra now maneuver for the kill. And they complete the comeback.
Yeah, and just like that, 2-0. This series is over at this point. Just like he's here, you hear the announcer say, day 1 corner. You got 3 people hitting that side. You have 2 sliding behind Furnace and 1 more a little delayed behind him by those tables back there, just outside of P2, and nobody checks that corner. Nobody. You get a free 2. He jumps off expecting the third, and the third guy just gets shit on. I mean, you already hear someone in the crowd yell, "It's a breakdown." I mean, like, it's just, that's not good. I think they had the blood too. I think Grill Mates were up 4-3 right there lives, and you let Joe just 3-piece you in a corner that if you're slide mine first, someone's got to at least look up there. I mean, that's just, I mean, that was wild to me. And then you leave Lunars in a 1v2. That's not gonna happen. And he drops 2-0. That series is over from that point. But I thought that was a great moment where I thought maybe that could be a series, and maybe Grill Mates are better online, and then they make that mistake, and down goes them from there. A few players I wanted to highlight and touch on here. Some things. Obviously, with LAN comes, there's the whole online versus LAN argument of online doesn't matter, it's only LAN that matters. If you play good online, not good on LAN, then you're an online merchant, which is what we're gonna call them here. So I want to take a look at a few online merchants and a few LANimals, guys who get better, or at least play the way they've been playing come LAN. And one person I'm looking at here is Snoopy. Go ahead and take a look at these stats. 20 years old, SMG. This kid is talented as all hell. He has the mechanics. He has the gun skill. He can have the takeover. Just looking at his stats. A 1.11 Major 1 qualifier comes out in the tournament, and Major 1 tournament 1.17. 1.01 in the Major 2 qualifier comes out this tournament 1.08. They beat Thieves. This team definitely looked great. Snoopy got back to his takeover modes. I think this qualifier, I think I touched on in last podcast, but Snoopy was not looking at that Snoopy that Boston Breach had those beginning of the year, where they actually looked like maybe a team that can compete for something before we had the Surges and Ravens and Ultras kind of stand out in that way. But we saw that Snoopy come back out, dominate. He's just a fun watch. Looking for his stats from this tournament. Yeah, so we see here 1.19, 101 kills against Thieves. That's just he was just setting pace. 101 and 85, just absolutely moving. 101 in just 4 maps. I mean, he was just moving. And again, it's just his POV is so fun to watch. It's talented. It's Shotzi-esque. It's Hydra-esque. He has that archetype that he can get there. Next series, he goes 97 102. It's a 0.95, but I mean, he just SMG, you're just completely setting pace. 97 kills once again in 4 maps, 102 deaths. Like, you're an SMG, you're playing at a fast pace, and that's what you're gonna get from him. He was just something that stood out to me as this past qualifier. He wasn't looking like that form, and I think it showed in Boston's performance. He comes out and LAN, and he looks ridiculous. So, just wanted to highlight him. Another player I think I touched on him earlier, is Gwyn. We'll take a look at him. His stats: 22, submachine gun. I mean, this kid he's once again another kid who has the talent, he has the takeover ability, he has that X factor to really be that guy in a match, where he just can just disrupt things going on. But this year, 1.12 on the first stage 1, 1.03 on LAN, which isn't bad, but gets worse. And then Major 2 qualifier 1.13, Major 2 0.98. And that's kind of inflated because we take a look at the past matches. 03, he went 0.87 versus Vancouver and a 0.70 versus Thieves. And he ups a 1.5, so that kind of stat pads himself against Vegas Falcons. I mean, he had to have expected that. So it's the LAN performance for him hasn't been great. Even last year, I mean, he's not bad. I'm not gonna say he's a bad player, but it's just not what we see online. Online, he looks like the best player in the game. And he comes to LAN, it just doesn't translate fully. So, as I touched on earlier, that's something that Ravens are going to need. I think this is a team that can make runs like Surge and like Ultra, and they have veteran players on this team that can lead them to, I think, compete with Thieves and FaZe, right? I'm not going to say beat them right now, especially FaZe, because FaZe look disgusting, but at least, be able to fight and not look like one of these other bottom tier teams that just get disgustingly ran. But they need Gwyn. Gwyn needs to be playing like Gwyn if they're going to have any type of chance. So, Next player, take a look at here is Geo, which is, you kind of forget because this Rocker team is not really all that notable. They're not the worst team in the league, but they're not quite the best or anywhere near the top. But Geo had a great event. We'll take a look at these past matches from this tournament. 1.37 against Optic, and they got, like I said, they got 3-0'd. But he drops a 1.37. Gets 3-0'd by Atlanta. I mean, Rocker don't even win a map this LAN. He drops a 1.10, a 1.37. This Optic series, I think he. Let's take a look here. Yeah, 1.79. This map won 43-24, and they lose by 30. Now, I mean, Paul X on this team, Nero. This Rocker team is one of those teams also I think needs to make a change. I don't think Paul's gonna be that guy. Estriel has looked great. He looked pretty consistent this year quietly. Geo has his times, like I said, his stats on LAN have been very notable. Take it back and look at that. But I think this Minnesota Rocker team just kind of needs to make a change. It's not really working out. They haven't made any type of run on so far both of these LANs, and this one they go 0-6. 3 of them are to Optic, which, you know, they made that change. Maybe the honeymoon phase against Optic kind of screwed them, but, you know, 1.02 in Major 1 qualifiers and a 1.23 on LAN, 1.01 in Major 2 qualifiers and a 1.22 on LAN. So I mean, he's got a 1.22, 1.23 on LAN this year. This kid's gross. I think they just need to make a kind of change. I think they need to drop Paul, find someone else. He's 21 years old. He's a young kid in this league, and yeah, he's been playing great LAN and online too. But at LAN, he just clearly gets better. It's just this team is not great, so it's kind of an unfortunate situation for him. But definitely a LANimal, I'd say. And then last player I want to touch on here is my boy Kremp. I mentioned it earlier. He had a great tournament for us this LAN. Take a look at his stats. 1.08 against Ultra, 1.16 against the loss to FaZe, 1.02 against that loss to LA Thieves. And these FaZe obviously looked final this entire tournament, and this Thieves team, even though they drop out 4th place, on the day we played them, they looked disgusting. They looked out of their minds. But against, take a look at the stats against Toronto. I think his S&D has been what's been, well, not in this match, but yeah, he's been playing great in Control. I know he's had a few great S&D maps too, but in Control drops a 1.48. The series is a 1.08 all at overall, but he makes plays, he makes routes. He's a bunch of key 2 pieces from him. It's one of those players when we get to his POV and it's like it comes down to that wire moment. I feel like I can count on him to make the play for us. I want to take a look at this FaZe series. If I could find it. Yeah, he's at 1.16. He's the only one positive for us. Map 1, he's at 1.14. Search and choice at 1.0. This Control, he goes nuts. 1.79, 25 and 14. He was just running the world, right? On our offenses and our defense. On our defense, he's getting their spawn. Offense, he's getting their spawn. He was pretty much the reason why we 3-0'd them like with the way we did. Obviously, Civ and Mac play great too, but I mean, he goes plus 11 in a 3-0. Just absolutely running FaZe's world on this map. It was just a great performance from him, and it was kind of clear. I think that the distinction from online, where it's kind of Civ was the one taking over and putting us on his back and came to the LAN. And Civ did still play great, but Kremp definitely stepped up, and it was pretty telling when you could see it. So excited because he's on my New York team, so I was pretty pumped to see that. And lastly, I wanted to end here. We finished 2 majors now. I want to kind of just touch over. I kind of have a list of players here. Who I think some all-stars, role players, and some superstars in this game, or at least who has the potential to be, and who might be the best in the game at the current moment. So these are kind of just a list of players. Obviously, there's the obvious. There's the Hydras. There's the Scraps, the Simps. I get that. These are players that I think are slightly more underrated. Rightfully so. Those are the top players in the game, but some more interesting players I want to touch on here. Starting with Rancor, I talked about him last week. He continued playing great this week for Miami. It's translated online to LAN. It translated 100% for him. And they played Thieves too, so they didn't play just nobodies. He looked great. I think he's definitely. I put him at an all-star level right now. I think this Miami team needs to perform online, give themselves a better shot when it comes to LAN, and we can see them make a run. I mean, they did it the same thing. Major 1, they made a run, so I think we just need to see that again for me to really get a better look at him online, but or on LAN. But I mean, from what we got and from what we got on LAN so far, he's looking like a stud. He's a rookie this year. Obviously, he's the easy choice for rookie of the year. I think really the only choice, honestly, besides the Falcons team. But I definitely have him as an all-star type of player for this team. Gio, I have between. I would say he's between a role player and all-star. I would just say he's a star player. He's definitely talented. Definitely can shoot when he's on Gio. He can be a really, really hard kill, and just his kill streaks can get out of hand sometimes. Multi kills and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd have him as a star player. Again, it's hard when you're on a team like Minnesota Rocker where you don't get to see a lot out of that team, but he's definitely playing on a bad team and still playing really well. So next, I have TJ Halley. This is a great resurgence year for him. He's been a good player in the past, but he's kind of just been past few years just kind of in the middle of the road, mediocre. Has his maps, but then falls back off. He hasn't been consistent. This year, he's been consistently probably Carolina's best player. Right? Obviously, going online is disgusting, but TJ Halley's been right there with him as his sub duo, playing great. If I had to have an all-star selection, TJ Halley, I'd definitely give him all-star vote. Skies. And I have Skies on here. It seems like the kind of clear-cut answer as a role player, and that's probably where I put Skies. But his ability to elevate his teammates, right? We saw him on New York with Hydra. Obviously, Hydra was disgusting when they were winning that New York team. But I think it helps when you have players like Skies that allow you to go do that. He facilitates, he rotates, he holds the point. Like he's a player that does the things that you don't want to do when you're a takeover type player. I think I would still have him as a role player, but I think you can argue he's an all-star type player just because of his ability to elevate his teammates. Now I think we saw that in that game 1. Optic played Rocker, and then they got smoked the next series. His slang isn't there, but he has the clutch factor. We've seen that in the past, and his abilities to elevate his teammates. So I think we need to see more on him with this new team. This next split and the next major. Hopefully they have time to kind of figure it out and get a little bit better and make a little bit more of a run. So we'll get to see that. But I think he's an all-star level role player, I think, because of how he elevates his teammates. Snoopy, I got Snoopy. I think he's an all-star on the verge of being a superstar. Just completely talent-wise because of his mechanics. Like I said, he looks like a Shotzi, like a Hydra. He looks like a simp. Like I think he just needs to learn a little more. He's still young. I think he's just stick with this is a completely different team than last year. If he can kind of settle in on his team, continue his level of play he's at, this Boston Breach team has a chance to be really good. And I think Snoopy can be a franchise player over there, being an all-star, and they can build around him and actually make something legit happen. So, and like I said, I'm not putting these players on the same. Like obviously you have Hydra and Simp as superstars. I'm not putting these guys on the same exact level as them. But in general, I think these are superstar talents that if you're a franchise, you hold on to a guy like Snoopy and you say, this is our dude we're building around. Let's go find pieces and we're going to make it work with him. So that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Neptune, I mean, how do you not say this dude's a superstar? This Vancouver Surge team dropped top 12, was really a bottom tier team. He comes in and they completely 180. Beat FaZe twice online. Go game 5 with them here on LAN, and then they go to the distance, making the championship. They get 4-0'd, but this kid still looks disgusting. I think at first we kind of thought, he'll look good. Eventually it'll fade off. Like it's just another player comes in the league, is good, and then the hype kind of dies off, and we'll kind of move on from it. The Surge team will still be crap, but Surge right now, they're number 3 easily, and I think they compete with the top 2 teams at any point in time. And you can't say that without giving most of that credit to Neptune. Now I think this team is good. I think he opens up a ton for Abuza 404 to play the way they've been playing, but that's just again another testament to how much of a good of a player is. Like I said, to talk about Snoopy with the archetype of being the Hydras, the Simps, the Shotsies. I think he's right there. You watch this kid play, and it's just when he gets on a streak, multiple times on a 5, 6, 7 streak, it's just 2-piece here, 2-piece there. His movement, his ability to get kills like he shouldn't be getting. I think as he just settles in, continues to grow confidence. I know this is like his second or third stint in the league, so maybe he's finally going to settle in and realize that he belongs here. And hopefully this Surge team could keep building kind of off of him, and they should, him and this team should only keep getting better. So I have him as a superstar talent as of right now. Abuza, obviously we're just talking about Surge, but I have Abuza as an all-star. He's an AR that has his maps where he's out there and he's 41 and 25, but he's just beaming. We saw him look great last year as a rookie. He's only a sophomore this year. This is why I'm so high on this Surge team, because you have talents like Neptune, you have talents like Abuza. These are two great players. You can be building off of plus 04, but Abuza, I have it as an all-star talent. I think he can only get better as time goes on, especially as he continues to work with Neptune. His SMGs, I want to go out there, 04 and Neptune go out there, do their thing, and he can start learn to work with them, work around them, like all the great ARs in this league do. The Dashies to the Shotsies, the Celiums to the Simps. So I definitely think he's an all-star and the potential to be one of the top ARs in the league in the coming seasons. Even maybe by the end of this season now, the way that this Vancouver Surge team will keep getting better, I think this he only improves as well. Gwyn. I think Gwyn has the potential to be a superstar. Like I said, I've talked so much about him already, but I'll say this. He has the potential to be the superstar. He has those abilities, those takeover moments. He has it all. He just needs to figure it out on land. If he figures it out on land, if it translates, he's a superstar talent in my mind. JoeDecieves. I think JoeDecieves is a top 5 player in the league right now. This land event, he looked amazing. Just so we can go ahead and take a look at his stats, but this whole split, he's looked just disgusting. Coming in last year from the Thieves, he came up. He got picked up, I think, he was on their bench. Kind of found his form towards the end of the year, and he hasn't looked back since. He's on the wrong team. I'm an idiot. Toronto. Yeah. 1.15 this tournament at 1.15 in the Major 2 qualifiers. His KD, he's only gotten better as this year's gone on. He's looked amazing. His last 5 matches, a 1.47 against LAT, 1.45 Boston, 1.18 Texas, 1.20 against the Gorilla Mates. He's looked unreal. His takeover, he gets in your base, and this kid's gun looks just like, it looks just insane. Some of the shots he's just ripping people with an SMG from a, he shouldn't be getting these kills. And I don't know how he's doing it, but his improvement from last year with the Thieves, going all the way from the end of that season, EWC, into this year, he's just on pace to keep getting better and better. And this Toronto Ultra team and that system they have with CleanX and Insight is going to allow him to continue to learn the game and also build on top of his game, and they can build around him with the talent that he has. I think he's a top 5 player. I think he's 100% a superstar player in this league, and I think Ultra got blessed with this one, because you come into the year and looking at Team Beans, JoeDecieves, all right, maybe they could be good, but I mean, we're looking at them now as a top 4 team, and they look great. And let's say they lose the Surge 3-1, but they look great against Thieves, 3-0ing them. Their teamwork looks amazing. And like I said, I think JoeDecieves is a huge part of that. So definitely a top 5 talent, in my opinion, in the league. If they made a run to this tournament, I kind of wanted to see them make the run to the finals and see what they can do. If they made a run, I'd have him as possibly playing. At the moment, he was playing like the best player in the league. That Surge series, he judged .91. The whole team doesn't really have a great series, but he's playing up there with the best players in the league as of right now. Sib, my boy Sib, I think he's an all-star. I think he started off the year slow, but he's kind of come around really well. Kind of put us on his back towards the end of this last split. Carried it over into that game against Ultra. Again, it's hard for us to judge players from our team this split, this LAN event. We played Thieves and FAZE at their best right in a row on the same day. Kind of got screwed in that scenario, but I think Sib's an all-star. His shot when it's on is one of the best in the game. When he's shooting, he looks like an SMG player with an AR in his hands, just just gunning people from up close, like he's running around like Shotzi, and then he'll rip your head off like he's selling him sitting in the corner. So Sibs definitely found his way, and I think he's only gonna get better rest of this year. And then Kremp, I had to be biased and take two of my boys and put him on here, but I think Kremp, the way he played this, series, or this LAN event, I think he's an all-star talent. He might be able to say a star. I think he played like an all-star in this major 2 tournament, so if we can carry this forward, I think he's definitely an all-star talent. Again, another one of those LAT Thieves players from last year that they got pretty good towards the end of the year, and now he's carried right into this year. Great S&D player. When Sib's not shooting and no one else is really going off, he takes that load and takes over for us and kind of wills us through some of these matches. So looking forward to the future of this Cloud9 team, as we've had a few players kind of break out for us. But I love the way Kremp's playing. And coming into the year, I wasn't really too, excited or didn't really know what to think of this team. But I love the way Kremp is playing. I love the way Sib is playing. I think they're both all-star level talents, in my opinion. So that's kind of where I'll have them. And I think with that, that's gonna wrap it up here for us. I mean, that's really all I got. We covered the tournament. A few different topics I want to talk about. We got through all those. Like I said, FAZE comes out on top again. 2 PEAT. Someone's got to take them down. We have 4. That's it. I think it's just 8 straight weeks of COD coming up. Only 5 matches online now. It's always been 7, but these next 2 tournaments we have no minors, at least for now that I know of. And both splits are only 5 matches. So it's 5 matches, tournament, 5 matches, tournament. And then we're at champs. It's gonna fly by. So someone's got to step up. LA Thieves gotta figure it out. But I'm really excited to see where my Cloud9 team goes. I'm excited to see how much this Vancouver team can improve now. They've gone through an entire split as a team. Toronto. There's a lot of storylines to watch here. How Optic Texas develops from this little weird spot they're in. I don't know. I'm super excited to see. We'll take a look at these standings. Obviously, top 8 make champs. FaZe, Thieves, Ultra, Carolina Stars. They're all. I think those 5 are completely locked in. The rest is up in the air. Gorilla Mates, no way they're in. Vegas, no way they're in. Rocker, I'm kind of doubting them at this point. Unless they go make a change and then they get a Vancouver type resurgence. But I think Cloud9, we're in 9th right now. We're 15 behind Boston and Optic, which is, I guess I could say it's kind of scary because Boston looked good this split or this major event. Optic, they're still Optic, so it's like if they turn it around and they get back to who they are, if Skies is the guy they need, then it kind of gets scary. Now spots slowly start to become limited. I think we get past Miami. Miami is a good LAN team, but they don't play great online. There's 100 online points left. Each team has 10 matches left, so there's 100 points available for each team, and then the major. So we got to just keep placing top 6 like we did, and hopefully better, as long as you don't run into this, like I said, the FaZe and Thieves duo in one day. Keep having good splits, coming out positive, 4 or 5 matches. Well, there's only 5, so at least 3 wins per split ideally. But yeah, it's honestly it's gonna be tight. I mean, if Optic keeps playing the way they do, then I think we'll be fine. But it's a matter of it's really gonna come down how Miami performs. If they can give themselves a better shot on LAN to start and not just be losers round 1, then I think they become scary. Boston, if they can play the way that they just play this tournament, they become scary. But I also think we're a scary team too. So it's honestly be a fun champs race to watch. But there's gonna be a decent team that gets left out, honestly. So we'll have to see. But I'll leave it at that. Hope everyone enjoys their week, enjoys their Monday morning. If you're on the way to work, whatever it is. But hope we all have a great week. Back at it this Friday. COD, 8 straight weeks of it. And we'll see you next Monday. Have a good one.